Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link to you down below. Has links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there, follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I'll talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now, with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about Aaron Glenn's coaching hires. Yes, he's starting to fill out his coaching staff, and he's brought some folks in, and we have to have that discussion, okay? We've got a new offensive coordinator in Tanner Engstrand. We're going to be talking about that. Defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks. We're going to have the discussion. We've also kept as well, you know, a Jets coach as well from the last staff. We're going to be discussing it all. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you have not already. Now, I want to start with the Jets defensive coordinator, okay? New defensive coordinator here, Steve Wilks, okay? And I like this hire, and I'm going to get into why in just a second. Now, the last job he had, right, before, he became the defensive coordinator for the Jets was the San Francisco 49ers. He was their defensive coordinator, right, in 2024, okay? And he was fired after the season, after the Super Bowl, all right? And he was fired really late in the coaching cycle, which he really got screwed over. And this is one of the reasons why I like this hire, all right? First off, as everybody knows and may not know, I live on the West Coast. So I'm forced to watch the 49ers often. And the 49ers defense was really good under Steve Wilks, like really good. Like it carried the Niners for most of the season. It was crazy. And so when he was fired after the season, I remember literally looking up going, oh, this man got scapegoated for the loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl because there's no reason he should have been fired whatsoever. And I'm going to break this down. Now, before Wilks, DeMeco Ryans was the San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. Ryans, as we know, moves on, becomes the head coach of the Texans, and Wilks takes over. Now, one of the reasons that Wilks was fired, one of the reasons that was put out was the defense regressed under him, right? The defense regressed, so that's why they moved on from him after the Super Bowl. Now, when you hear that, you think, oh, the Niners defense must have stunk then, right? Because they were good under Ryans, but they must have just absolutely have stunk under Wilks. That is not true. Under DeMeco Ryans, okay, under him, the 49ers defense was giving up 16.3 points per game, okay? That was the fewest in the league, all right? Now you would think, regression, it must have just been crazy. They must have been giving up 30, 40 points a game. You'd be wrong. Under Steve Wilks, the 49ers defense was giving up 17.5 points per game. They went from first in the league, the fewest, right, under Ryans, to third in the league. Third fewest points in the league under Wilks. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? You're still a top three, okay? You also got to keep in mind that the San Francisco 49ers also lost guys as well, guys that left, okay, from Ryans to Wilks, right? They lost Jamie Ward. He moved on. They lost Azeez Al-Shihir. He moved on as well. They lost Samson Ebukam as well. Now, keep in mind, they brought in Hargrove. He was supposed to be a guy that was supposed to help them, produce with all them losing all these other guys, and he stunk. He didn't play very well. So they didn't get much of anything out of him. They also lost Hufanga as well, one of their top safeties, to an ACL injury mid-season. Mind you, he was an all-pro the year before. So the Niners defense took a lot of hits and still was a top defense in this league and was carrying them. And Wilks gets fired after the loss to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? What is going on here? Like, how does he get fired? I don't get it. I don't get it. Keep in mind, the San Francisco 49ers defense gave up less than 18 points, right, per game during the season. They only gave up 19 points in regulation to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They only gave up 19 points in regulation. The game goes to overtime. They gave up 22 points total through the whole game. They gave up 22 points total to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. 22 points. This is a Kansas City Chiefs team that's been blowing people away for years with Patrick Mahomes, completely destroying people. With Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they've been walking in, putting up 40 to 50 points on everybody and their mama, and not even blinking twice. They get off the plane up by 45, and they literally struggled to put up 22 points against a Niners defense that was playing through a wall. And Wilks gets fired because the defense regressed. Whatever, right? Also, I like this signing as well because this gives Aaron Glenn a guy that he can lean on a little bit because Wilks also has head coaching experience. He was a head coach of the Arizona Cardinals in 2018. He was fired after one season. But again, Aaron Glenn, this is his first time being a head coach. He can look at Wilks at times and say, hey, if things aren't going right, hey, what can I do? How can I get better? What are your ideas? What did you do as a head coach? Even when things are going well, how can we do even more? What can we do that's better? How did you attack certain situations? So when kinks and wrinkles come up, he's going to be able to step to Wilks and be like, hey, give me some advice. That's huge. That's huge. So I love him being brought in as the Jets defensive coordinator because I think he's going to be able to really get the job done. But man, that also having that head coaching experience is going to do a world of wonders for Aaron Glenn. Tanner Engstrand is now the New York Jets offensive coordinator, and I want to have that discussion, man. I like this. Okay, now the Jets did go after Nick Caley, according to reports, but Nick Caley was like, hey, I'm not interested in the job. I'm good, dog. All right, cool, right? So they bring in Tanner Engstrand. Of course, him and Aaron Glenn have a history over there with the Lions. Tanner was the Lions passing game coordinator, right? Now, this is the first time that he's going to be an offensive coordinator in this league, first time he's going to call plays, but he does have a history, right? And something that I think is going to bode well for the New York Jets offense and bode well for Aaron Rodgers if he stays, right? If he comes back. Now, Tanner has a history in the West Coast offense. Thank you. Okay. He has a history in the West Coast offense. Now, he does run it with a bit of a twist. Okay. He does run it with a bit of a twist. He has his own variations. Okay. Little kinks and wrinkles here. That's all good. But I'm talking about back to like 2005 when he was with Harbaugh and Morton in San Diego. He's been running this thing, man. And so that bodes well because, again, the big question is, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, dog? Like, what's going to happen with him going forward? And a lot of the dominoes, right, could fall in different ways depending on if Aaron Rodgers stays or if Aaron Rodgers leaves, right? There's guys that are probably going to want to leave if he leaves, and some guys that might want to stay if he stays. Heck, there's going to be guys that are going to want to come from other places if Aaron Rodgers stays to come here and play with him as well. So I think that this bodes well. Again, this is going to be his first time calling plays, but I think it bodes well to keep Aaron Rodgers here. Right? And I know there's a lot of Jets fans that want to get rid of him. I do not. I would like to see him brought back for another year, if not two, so that we can groom another young quarterback, behind him and put him in a position to really take a step forward and get things done. So I like this idea. Now, my only question about this situation is, again, he's a rookie offensive coordinator. I'm wondering if him and Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers, as we know, very accomplished quarterback in this league, very accomplished player, literally one of the best players ever to play in this league. We all know that. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer. He's immediately going to get that jacket when he puts it away and he's said and done. He's done everything in this league. He's won Super Bowls, yada, 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 right? I'm wondering, right, if he's going to be able just to work well with the rookie offensive play caller. That's all I'm worried about. We know he's challenges coaches. We know that, okay? From Mike McCarthy to all of those guys. And I'm wondering if Tanner is going to be able to step in, deal with the challenges, work well with Aaron Rodgers. I'm wondering if Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to work well with him and keep things going. That's all. But if they're on the same page and they're good to go and Rodgers is willing to come back and have everything going his way, let's go. Let's bring him back because I'm excited about that, all right? Now, I'm going to go through the other couple of coaches as well. Chris Banjo is now the New York Jets special teams coordinator. He's a guy that, was with the Broncos for a little bit. Now he's here. I like this idea. I like what he brings to the table. Even guys like Mike Westhoff talked about liking that as well. So I like that. I like him being brought in. I wanted to keep Boyer, but Boyer has moved on to another team as well. So it is what it is. Steve Hyden is being brought in as the New York Jets offensive line coach. I like this move too. Bye-bye Keith Carter. He was one of the worst coaches on our staff. He is out of here. But my big question is, Hayden has a history with like being a tight ends guy. Okay, he was with the Lions. Of course, him and Aaron Glenn have a history as well over there with the Lions. He was their tight ends guy. Now he's being brought in as the offensive line coach. I'm wondering to see what our offensive line is going to look like, with him as a coach here. Because again, Keith Carter was bad, but I like this move. A fresh perspective. He's being brought in to fix things. Other coaches as well. Chris Harris, again, a guy that was over there with the Lions, a defensive passing game coordinator. He's being brought in with the Jets. He's going to be the Jets defensive backs coach. He's also going to be the Jets defensive passing game coordinator as well. Eric Washington is being brought in as Jets defensive line coach. Aaron Curry is being brought in as the Jets linebacker coach. And guess what, baby? Shawn Jefferson is being kept upon the staff, okay, as the Jets wide receiver coach. He's staying here. And I like that. And the reason why I like that is because he already has a relationship and a history with the wide receiver core that is here. Guys like Garrett Wilson, guys like Devontae Adams, all these guys that we have here that have been making plays, he's been the guy coaching them, the guy, getting in their heads when they need to get, have somebody get in their heads. He's been the guy making sure that they understand the routes, staying crisp, staying clean, doing what they need to do. So I like having Shawn Jefferson kept and keeping him in the building. So I like these moves. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. How do y'all feel about Steve Wilks being the Jets defensive coordinator? What are your thoughts about Tanner Engstrand? Do you think that, he'll be able to work well with Aaron Rodgers if Aaron Rodgers stays? Do you think having a rookie offensive coordinator will, have Aaron Rodgers wanting to come back? Do you think he'll be able to work with Engstrand? Comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. You folks have a good one. Peace.